Here's how you can live at your most optimal state simply by listening to your body and developing an ongoing routine for self-care. I'll be sharing 12 ways that you can reduce your stress levels, but before we go into stress reduction, it's important to identify your stressors, identify the source, identify your triggers, because this will help you to know if you need to eliminate, reduce your exposure to, or just simply manage your triggers better. Prevention is better than cure, so it's good to be self-aware to know when you are approaching a state of high stress versus you already being in a state of high stress, and then taking action at that point to reduce your stress levels. As a spa owner, I am literally in the business of helping persons to prioritize self-care and overall wellness, and this can look like your routine massages and facials, or your routine self-care maintenance such as nails or waxing. A part of the spa experience is relaxation, because lots of persons are always on the go. We're doing so many things, and oftentimes, unfortunately, we don't carve out that time to rest, refuel, and recharge, and this rest is absolutely necessary for us to function at our most optimal state. I have seen what stress can do to the body, especially women's bodies, from autoimmune diseases to various cancers and also ongoing mental health issues. So self-care is not just a one-off kind of thing, it's something that you need to incorporate in a regular routine. So there are different types of stress. You have acute stress, and this is usually short term. So an example of this is when you have a oopsie on the road, or you almost meet into an accident. It's like that initial shock. It doesn't last for very long once you realize that you're okay, and a lot of persons drive the rest of the journey home or wherever you're going in silence, because it's just like, wow, you could have been in a really serious accident a while ago. There's also what we call episodic acute stress, which is like the middle ground between acute and chronic stress. So it's not as persistent as chronic stress. It happens frequently enough to cause someone or a person to be in a continued state of anxiety, you're feeling pressure. This can happen when you frequently take on too much responsibility. It's that feeling of you always being in a rush. Yeah. Now, the other type of stress is chronic stress. So this is more long-term. It feels unending. An example of this would be someone that, is probably in a job that they dislike and they don't see a way out. So they feel trapped in this career that doesn't feel fulfilling, but they have to pay the bills or they have different responsibilities. And it really affects them to the point that it might lead them to a state of depression or just overall dissatisfaction with their life. And in this case, the source would be that and have them feeling unfulfilled in their job. Another example of chronic stress would be someone that's in an abusive or toxic relationship or a dysfunctional family living situation. Yeah, acute stress. We also have traumatic stress, which is brought on by sudden trauma, environmental stress. So as a result of the environment, an example of this could be the impact of Hurricane Melissa here in Jamaica, where persons livelihoods and everything just change just like that, losing their homes, losing loved ones. And where do you go when you're home, which can be the safe space for so many people, is just gone in an instant, and your entire surroundings, there is no escape, because everywhere you look you're seeing just complete and utter devastation. Another example of stress is physiological stress, which is the body's response to a physical disruption such as an injury or an illness. I think it would be important for me to also share with you guys different stress symptoms, and this can range from emotional to physical to cognitive, right? Now, some emotional stress symptoms would be feelings of restlessness or you just feeling sad. Some physical symptoms can present as headaches or persons that just always feel so tense, like your shoulders tight, your jaw clenched. Dizziness is also a physical stress symptom. Shortness of breath, fatigue, and also your body being more susceptible to illness is also a physical stress symptom. On the cognitive aspect, it would be a difficulty in focusing, difficulty remembering things, lack of motivation, or even negative thinking. And also on the physical stress symptoms, it can also present as you wheezing, increased sweating, difference in how you breathe. So your breathing is probably faster than usual, and so on and so forth. Now, behavioral stress symptoms can be your eating habits. So some persons stress eat, and this can lead to you losing or gaining weight. Persons turn to different substances such as alcohol or smoking to in an attempt to manage their stress. Behavioral stress symptoms also present as procrastination or isolation. And I hope persons also notice that all of the symptoms that I shared can also be symptoms of depression also. Ongoing chronic stress can lead to mental health problems, so depression, anxiety. It can lead to cardiovascular issues, heart disease, strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure, abnormal heartbeats, abnormal heart rhythms. It can lead to obesity and eating disorders. It can cause menstrual problems. So if your cycle is off, stress can be a factor that affects your menstrual cycle. It can lead to sexual dysfunction. It can lead to skin and hair problems, so acne, eczema, hair loss. It can cause gastrointestinal problems, GERD, gastritis, irritable bowel syndrome, and ulcerative colitis.